why not? Hi, Mr. Shapiro. This is my biology final. It's on the interior Alaska Yukon alpine tundra. Let's get into it. That's Jamie in the background. Okay.
Hi.
All right. So some biotic things that are found in the tundra are moss, blueberries, cranberries, and many plants because it's at such a high elevation that photosynthesis is rapidly increased. And some other things are red foxes, black bears, polar bears, wolves, moose, and sheep. They typically survive through eating the berries and vegetation as well as eating each other. There have been some debates about the interior Alaska Yukon alpine tundra because roads have been like starting to be built in the tundra, and like people are like, oh, this isn't good because it's destroying the environment and destroying the animals, and we should work harder to protect this area and stuff. Some abiotic things of the tundra are the short and mild summers, the harsh and long winters, and because of the long winters and stuff, the mammals have actually adapted and grown thicker and heavier fur to combat them, or to combat the environment and stuff. This is an abiotic and biotic chart that I kind of made to show examples. There you go. To show examples of the cause and effects and stuff. So the cold and harsh winters make the animals have thicker fur. The higher elevation causes more plant life because the increased photosynthesis, and the lightning fire regime resets the ecological succession of the environment. This is also another cycle chart I made. So you have producers like the sun and the plants and stuff. Those feed, not the sun, but the plants and stuff feed to the primary consumers. And then those feed to the secondary consumers, and then decomposers, and then that feeds directly back into the producers. This is another chart I made. This is another chart I made. So top left is the animal adaptations. Top left is just plants becoming stronger, and research has shown that the plants in the tundra have been proven to be stronger than their other counterparts that are not in the tundra. The one on the right is animals have been using snow as insulation for their tunnels and stuff. Adaptation, the Arctic fox, over time it's been shown to have a smaller body, which enables it to conserve heat easier and more efficiently. And the bottom right is just the thicker fur on the animals. This is another chart that I made. So competition, mutualism, predator and prey, and then parasitism. So top left is the polar bears, and polar bears, they actually fight to the death with each other if they both have like a shared interest in something. So like if they both wanted to mate with another polar bear, then they'd probably fight for it. And then to the right is mutualism between polar bears and Arctic foxes. The Arctic fox and the polar bear. So the polar bear, they eat they'll hunt and eat something, and then they'll leave the scraps for the Arctic fox. And this is mutualism because it benefits both of them and nobody is negatively impacted. Bottom left is predator and prey, so salmon and birds. The salmon fish are prey to the birds, and yeah. And then bottom right is parasitism, and I use the example of lungworms, which are found in the tundra, and they live inside an animal's lungs and feeds off them. Another interesting fact is that they won't directly kill the host, but the host is a lot more likely to contract diseases with the lungworms. And it just makes their life 10 times harder. And then this is my citation slide, and yeah, that is it. So thank you.